Hey, what's up guys? Houston here. And for those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. And for those of you that's been following me and supporting me, salute. And for my faithful patrons, always a double salute. Now, today's video, we're actually going to be talking about how to get high limit personal credit cards, starting at 5,000 going up to 80,000. Now, for most people, they're under the impression that, well, I got a good credit score, perfect credit score, so I can get a high limit credit card. Nope, it doesn't work like that. And the reason that I'm telling you that, say that you was a person with bad credit, but you went to the bank and you deposited, say, $100,000 in the bank at a Chase Bank. Well, guess what? You moved to the front of the line, okay? And so because you moved to the front of the line, guess what? They'll give you a $50,000 credit card. No problem, right? Because you just made a large lump sum into their system, right? So that's the reason I tell you a credit score does help. However, there's other data metrics that you have to understand when trying to get large lines of credit. All right. Now, here's a little chart that you all should just keep in mind. The credit scores and credit limit ranges. All right. So if you're subprime, if you're a super prime borrower, then from 720 to 850, then you should be about a $10,000 credit limit, right? Nope. Again, this is the stuff that I'm telling you guys, that even though you may have a strong credit score, most people don't know your demographics. That actually plays into how high of a credit line that you get. So if you're in a bad area, right, and the average credit score is, say, about a 6, just say the average credit score is about a 660, right? All right. So if the average credit score is about a 660, even though you're a 800 credit score, guess what? Whatever the average is giving, that's what you're going to get. And it's just that they're data metrics. That's the reason I tell you guys, whenever you are applying for credit cards and stuff like that, it's a must that if you can try to get them on the phone, or you can try to go into a branch and apply for that credit card, okay? One, by you doing it on the phone or going into the branch, what ends up happening, because you're there, so they already verified that you're the individual that's providing this information, okay? And so by them allowing them to put the information in for you, if they would, then what happens if you get declined a credit card or whatever, then they can get into their underwriting department, and then their underwriting department, they can call and they can talk directly to their underwriting department for you to try to help you get approved, okay? So that's the reason why you definitely want to try to apply with being on the phone or going into a branch. All right, now let's look at a few credit cards. Andrews Federal Credit Union, their titanium card, right? So this card starts at 5,000, goes up to 50,000. And again, guys, saying that, oh, you got to have excellent credit to get this card is not true. Here's the key. Here's the key. Better yet, just give me a few minutes, because I'm going to actually explain this more in detail. But understand this, that you can be about a 690 and still get this card. Now, in terms of getting that maximum amount, again, it's all about the data metrics, which we're going to talk about. Now you have the Capital One Venture X. This credit card starts at $10,000. But what did I just say? If you wanted to bank with Capital One and you deposit $100,000 and you have bad credit, again, you're not going to have a problem with getting a credit card like this. Okay? So where it says, oh, you got to have excellent credit, it's not always about the credit. All right, it's very important that you understand that. Now, here's the thing about it. When you're trying to get high limit credit cards, especially 5,000, 25,000, 50,000, $80,000 credit cards, it's all about the relationship. And that's one of the things I keep on stressing to you guys is to build a relationship. So if you wanted that credit card starting at 10,000 with with Capital One, then it's best that you have a direct deposit. It's best that you have a savings account with them. You may have a CD account with them. You may have a personal account with them. You may have a business account with them. Okay, but those are the data metrics that they take into perspective when they're trying to determine, okay, this guy wants a $50,000 credit card. So with them looking at them and they're looking at your direct deposits and stuff, now they see, oh, okay, this guy is depositing $25,000, $30,000 a month, right? So to give them some justification, even though you don't have perfect credit, but you're depositing large lump sums of money. So those data metrics really matter. All right. Now, if you individual, better yet, let me tell you a story. All right. So we had a client that just got out of prison. All right. And what happened was he had a dead file. So we put about 4 AUs on the credit file. Okay. His credit score jumped up over 800. And the bank still wouldn't touch him. All right. So when you think that you having a 800 credit score really going to change something or whatever, it doesn't. All right. He still had to start at the bottom, right? Because he had AUs on there, but there was other factors that wasn't there. He didn't have a loan. He didn't have like a the history was picking up. Okay, so the credit file had a long history, but he had these AUs, but he didn't have at least 3 primaries on there also. All right, so there was no rent reporting, these type of things. So when you applying for like credit cards and you're trying to get that 50, 75, $80,000 credit card, these are the things you really have to take into consideration because this is what they're looking at. And most people don't tell you this, all right? It's all about the relationship. Now, there was other people, again, going back to my Navy Federal video, where people with a 530 credit score getting $25,000 credit cards. 530 credit score getting $25,000 credit card. Again, because they're using internal scoring. They're using those data metrics that I just told you. All right. Now, if you have a low credit score and you're trying to still build your credit score up and then impress the lenders, then these are the strategies that you can do to help boost up the credit score. You can sign up with Grow Credit and Perch. So if you have subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, Apple Music, if you're paying car insurance or you're paying a gym membership or something like that, then these type of companies will be able to help report it as a positive trade line on your credit file, right? Now, having, again, like loans, having credit builder loans, like I said, people would put down, oh, I make 150,000, right, as income. But when they look at the system, they're like, okay, you make $150,000, but you don't have rent payments on here, you don't have a mortgage on here, you don't have a car loan, you don't have even a regular loan on here. So when they look at this, they're like, nah. So yeah, you put down 150,000. Yeah, you got a 800 credit score, but you don't have those other data metrics that actually can help them decide, should I give this person a $50,000 credit card, right? And also they're looking at, in terms of those low limit credit cards that you may have, are you using them? How often are you using them? How are you paying them off? What's the utilization of them? So those are the things that actually make the difference when you're trying to get these large lines of credit. All right. So adding authorized users, the extra debit card app, One Financial app. Those are the two. If you're using your debit card a lot, then those are the two apps you want to have, because all of your debit card transactions will be reported to the credit bureau at the end of the month. All right. Now, also, don't forget Experian Boost. Now with Boom Pay and Rental Karma, they report rent. So if you have a landlord that's not reporting the rent, you can sign up for them. Boom Pay states that they report up to 24 months. Now, why am I telling you this? If you're an individual that's looking to try to get a mortgage, okay, FHA mortgage, FHA guidelines have changed to where if you can show proof that you've been paying rent for a year, year and a half, 2 years, then that can be used as a positive credit towards you, helping you get qualified for a mortgage. All right. So that's the reason that this is important. Even a purchase, they'll report up to 6 months of rental history. All right. Now, here's something that I would definitely tell you to do. If you're trying to get that 25, 30, $50,000 credit card, all right, and you have high utilization of your personal credit cards, but the credit score is high, then you want to look for a company like Universal Credit, because they deal with people that have a high utilization. As a matter of fact, you can have up to 75% debt to income ratio to get qualified for them. The minimum score is a 560, but the average is a 638. The income they're looking for is about a 660. Now their loans go anywhere from 1,000 up to 50,000, but I guarantee most people never got that $50,000 loan. They more likely, the maximum this company probably ever gave somebody is probably about 30 to 35,000, even though they say that they give $50,000 loans. All right. Not saying it hasn't happened, but I'm pretty sure the maximum a person has gotten out of them is probably about 30, 35,000. All right. Now you have to have at least 2 trade lines on the credit file. Again, just adding those trade lines, like I told you, will help in terms of helping you qualify for something like this. But when you get the money, here's what I would do. If I was to get a $30,000 credit card, excuse me, loan from Universal Credit, and I have a high DTI, then what I would probably do is, there's a company called Sable, okay? And I talked about them in other videos, where you can take $10,000 max and put it on that Sable card. Then after 4 months, it actually turns into a unsecured credit card, and you get your $10,000 back. So then you have your other 20,000. Then I would pay my credit card debt down. Okay, I would put it down, not under. If I can, I would either pay it under 9%. Most people said 30%, but if you're able to pay it down to about 9%, you're going to see a dramatic increase in your credit score. So now they actually show that leverage of you having stronger credit, okay? And you don't have all these open accounts. And you definitely, when you're trying to get larger lines of credit cards, I'm talking about 50, 60, $75,000 credit cards, you do not want to have a bunch of open line revolving credit. Okay, so that's very important that you know that. Now, let's look at some of these other credit cards. Like you have the Chase Sapphire. They start at $5,000. Okay, now again, it's all about the relationship. Opening up to be able to get the higher lines of credit, mm, having a deposit going on, having a savings account, having a personal account, even having a business account. Now, why am I telling you this? Because if you have a direct deposit with Chase, now the average credit score with Chase is a six, is some people have gotten credit cards with a 660 credit score. They say about a 670, but a 660 credit score. But because they also have business credit cards too, and most people know that the business credit cards get a higher limit. But the thing about it, if you're trying to get higher limit personal credit cards, then you also want to look out and see if they are offering a premium credit card like the Visa Signature card. Okay, so that's what you want to look at to see if they offer Visa Signature credit cards. Now, then you have the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Credit limit starts at 10,000. Starts at 10,000. And again, like I said, they say, oh, you got to have excellent credit. So in terms of having an average of maybe a 720 credit score, but again, if you're making large deposits in financial institutions, trust me, they will bend the rules for you so that you can get their credit card, whatever credit card you want, especially if you're making large deposits. Now, here's one I wanted to point out. This is the Members First Credit Union. Okay, their Visa Signature card starts at 5,000, goes up to $75,000. Okay, and again, they offer business accounts as well, so you always want to build that relationship. Open up the personal account, the savings account, the business account, have the direct deposit, because these are the factors and the data metrics they're looking for to be able to make sure that you get the highest credit limits and stuff like that. So the more money you're able to deposit into your regular personal account, or the more accounts you may have like a CD or something that you have another $50,000 that you don't put into the bank. These are all the metrics, like, and the credit score may just be a 680 credit score. But because you have that amount of money, now they're like, okay, we have your money. We don't mind giving you a credit card limit of 50,000, 75,000, because we know that you actually are invested customer. Instead of just looking for money, you actually are really invested into our financial institution. Okay? Now, this here is the Navy Federal Flagship. It goes up to 80,000. And I made a video on how to get approved for any Navy Federal credit card. So if you want to see that video, put a comment below. But here's the thing, adding to that, excuse me, not a but adding to that, the things that you need to understand, that they do internal scoring as well. So where you're thinking that, oh, I got this high credit score or whatever, that's just cut and dry. No. They're looking at, okay, again, are you have direct deposit with us? Do you have other credit cards accounts with us? Do you have a savings account? Do you have a business account? These are the things that they're looking at, so they can have more data metrics on you to determine if you are deserving of that $80,000 credit card. And again, just keep in mind, yes, a lot of these financial institutions, they taunt the $80,000, but most people, they're lucky if they get up to $35,000, $40,000. Okay, a lot of times that's what they're going to give you, unless you're a person that they know and they can see that activity where you're spending a lot. And for it's like if you're doing a lot of traveling, or you have a mortgage or something like that, that actually requires that type of funding or whatever, then that would make sense to them. But in terms of you just having a 800 or 850 credit score, that's not going to help the situation. All right, so if you have any questions about personal credit, business credit funding, click the link below and schedule a consultation with three-way funding.